Washington Wizards have fired head Chris Paul will miss some time. Kawhi Leonard out with a knee. Stan Van Gundy fired from the Pelicans. Paul Pierce starts marijuana brand. Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here, so do not blink because you very well will miss some NBA news. I am recording this, it's not even noon yet where I live, and damn, so much has already happened today. So before we get into all of these crazy stories, man, the injuries, the coaches being fired, all that stuff, you guys don't mind leaving a like on this video. 1,000 likes is always the goal. We post an NBA news every single day over here. And of course, man, subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are very close to 300,000 subscribers. So I think the first thing I have to mention, Kevin Durant. Probably enough said, right? I mean, come on, man. That's like an all-time historical performance that he had. The dude was absolutely unbelievable, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Okay, so the first story that broke this morning by Woj was that Scott Brooks is being fired from the Washington Wizards. A lot of people thought he was actually going to come back as the coach. That was, rumored a few days ago, and I was like, I don't know if I really like that, just because Scott Brooks, to me, just is not really a great fit for that Washington Wizards team. You know, it comes down to it, he's not a great defensive coach, and you could really see it last season, too. It's like the play call was, give the ball to Bradley Beal and let's see what happens. And then this season it was, give the ball to Bradley Beal, let's see what happens. But hey, we also have Russell Westbrook. Let's give the ball to Russell Westbrook and see what happens. And to me, that's not really, play calling. It's much equated to like Giannis on the Milwaukee Bucks, where it just seems like every damn play is in isolation. You know what I'm saying, man? But, straight up, when it comes down to it, Scott Brooks was really never the right coach for this team in general. Now, I will call it as I see it. As far as the defense goes and just how bad the team is defensively, you can't really equate that totally to the head coach, because some of it is also just like the different players you have on your team. And I'm sorry, but like Thomas Bryant is just not really a great defensive player. Neither is Davis Bertans, man. But, I'm really hoping they bring in a coach, maybe a younger guy that can kind of grow with the team. Some of the young bloods on this team, Denny Avila, Rui Hachimura, Daniel Gafford. They got a really good foundation over here on the Wizards. Obviously, you do have the star power with Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. With the right head coach, anything can happen. You look back when Billy Donovan was the coach of the OKC with Russell Westbrook. And what made Russell so good that season was that, Donovan was able to kind of like maybe slow down Russell Westbrook a little bit. And instead of him going, all crazy with the stats and everything, it was more so like play controlled basketball. And I know Paul George ended up having like a top 5 MVP season. So a coach like that, man, a coach that can get the most out of Russell Westbrook without Russell Westbrook trying to get the most out of his own game, if that makes sense. One guy that I would absolutely love over here would actually be Chauncey Billups, who is, by the way, my favorite player of all time. But, Mr. Big Shot was the definition of keeping it cool, calm, and collective in the clutch. And really the entire course of the NBA game. Chauncey always knew how to slow down the tempo, and just, when people were getting crazy, he could be like, hey, let's bring it back a little bit, gather our thoughts, run the plays, and be good to go. So I think he would be a great head coach for this Washington Wizards team. I have no idea who they're actually going to interview. Maybe by the time you watch this video, that knowledge is dropped, because like I said, so much stuff is happening today. The next head coach that was fired was Stan Van Gundy. Such a great choice, man. Stan Van Gundy is not only an old head that doesn't know how to adapt to today's game, he's also very stubborn, and he was just never the right coach to coach Zion Williamson, the New Orleans Pelicans. Very big time W that they got rid of him so soon, but, in all reality, he really should never have been the head coach in the first place. In my opinion, as great as Zion was this season, it was still, from a team chemistry standpoint, definitely a step backwards. I mean, I think a lot of us really expected this Pelicans team to maybe be like a top 6 seed in the Western Conference, and that definitely was not the case. But yeah, the thing about Stan Van Gundy is just like, for one, when they brought in Steven Adams and they eventually got Eric Bledsoe, those were already just like 2 horrible choices, where it's like, okay, like that for one does not really operate nicely with a Stan Van Gundy team. When Van Gundy was at his best is when, on the Orlando Magic, when you had Dwight Howard, who obviously in this case Zion is the Dwight Howard of this team, and you surround him with shooters. And this time it's like this offense just made no sense. It was clunky. It was weird. So happy he's gone. This is the same head coach, man, where we had Josh Smith, Greg Monroe, and Andre Drummond as a big 3 in Detroit. So I'm just going to point that out real quickly. But yeah, so I think when it comes down to the next head coach of the Pelicans, for one, Zion's had like 3 coaches so far in his very, very young NBA career. So that's never a good thing for a guy trying to just become like, a beacon of stability for the franchise. So we want to go out there and you want to get a coach, you can go really two different directions. You can go with a veteran that just, you know his style of offense and defense is going to work, or you can go with maybe a bit of a younger prodigy out there to grow with this Pelicans team over time. So one name obviously out there is Mike D'Antoni. I mean, offensively, he's one of the greatest offensive coaches of all time. That would be a little interesting to see how he operated with Zion Williamson, but at the same time too, I do think this roster outside of Zion and, Brandon Ingram, a few of the other young guys out there would need to be a complete overhaul. Now, if they got Lonzo back, Mike D'Antoni's always made point guards great and shooting guards, so having, him coach Lonzo Ball could also be a good thing, but I could also see where, fans of the Pelicans would be like, okay, like, we know what D'Antoni does, let's try something new out, right? So you got Kenny Atkinson would obviously be another good choice. I mean, youngish, he's like in his 50s, which, for coaching, that's pretty young. He's got, another good 20 years of basketball left in him as far as coaching goes. So he could be somebody, Becky Hammon would be another excellent choice, I think, just learning from Greg Popovich over the years. I think it would just be a really good opportunity, for her to break herself into the head coaching role of the NBA. And it would just be a lot of fun to watch, too. So I like all those choices right there. You guys let me know in the comment section below who you think should be the next head coach, not only of the Washington Wizards, but also of the New Orleans Pelicans, and who else knows who has been fired since I posted this video, right, man? Okay, so next up, another big-time news is that Kawhi Leonard is going to probably be missing the rest of the series against the Jazz with a knee injury. So, yeah, I mean, injuries have been absolutely horrendous for the NBA playoffs this year. It seems like every single team has some sort of big-time piece missing or missed games at some point in the postseason, and it just really sucks, man. It's just not fun for the game of basketball. I mean, we go into these seasons after watching the offseason and seeing our favorite teams, trade for different players, get free agents, draft dudes, and then to get to the point where it actually really, really matters in the NBA playoffs to see all these guys get injured and you don't really see the full rosters. It absolutely sucks, man. I mean, I know for me personally, my bracket, I mean, it was trash after the first round. Let's be honest. My bracket was absolutely bad. But at the same time, too, when you make these brackets, you don't go into it considering all these injuries. Like, in the back of your mind that something's going to happen because it does every single season. But this is like the damn multiplied times a billion, guys. It's been absolutely bad. And, I'm hoping that Kawhi Leonard can come back healthy and very quickly just because, like I said, man, I mean, it's been a really good series. And the Clippers are in a place where, it's like, if they get to the Western Conference Finals, like, that's a team I think that can make it, all the way to the NBA championship, and we know what Kawhi Leonard brings to the table and everything, man. So Paul George is really going to need to step up. Like, he needs to go back to the Indiana Pacer days for a little while, or maybe that one season we were talking about on the OKC Thunder where he actually played like an MVP. He's going to absolutely need to carry. He has zero room for error here. I'm a little nervous about it because, Paul George has actually been really solid in the postseason this year, and obviously the playoff pandemic is a thing. So, I mean, looking at it, it's like, all this spotlight, he's going to crumble or, really step up to the plate. I guess not baseball, man, so step up to the court, we should say, right? So, okay, outside of that injury of Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul is going to be in COVID protocol for about 10 days, I heard, something like that. And he risks missing some games. Well, he will miss some games. If he's going to be out for 10 games or for 10 days, he will be missing time, in the Western Conference Finals series, which sucks yet again, man. It's like, okay, I will say I don't know the circumstance of what got Chris Paul into the COVID protocol. But if it was something, and it had to have been something that he did, right? Like a choice that he made, then that's a big time L, man. I mean, as much as we love Chris Paul, as fun as he's been to watch this entire playoffs looking like a straight up MVP, if he put himself in that circumstance, that's just a big time out for him, man. I mean, the guy's finally healthy now. Now, obviously, he's battling a little bit of injuries, but every single player at this point, it's not to the case anymore where it's like it's holding him out anymore. Like, he's actually playing in these big time games in the Western Conference Finals. So that really, really sucks to see that he's going to be missing some time here, man. And I did read something where it's like, since he's vaccinated, or if he's vaccinated, I should say, I don't know his medical history, that it might not be 10 days. He might be able to come back a bit quicker. So I don't really know, man. But if Chris Paul put himself into that situation, come on, man. Like, that's not great, right? Now, if it was an accident or somebody else came up to him or whatever it may be, I remember watching not too long ago, I think it was Jason Tatum was like walking into the tunnel and like a fan went to like give him a high five. And a security guard had to like tackle Jason Tatum away because if he would have touched him, that would have been considered breaking protocol and he would have missed games. So it is very, you know, touchy with how it can happen. So I don't really know that circumstance, man. But regardless, like, it's just going on noon now, and all these stories broke. Let me actually go. I'm clicking over here, man. What else we got here? Make sure I didn't miss any more big-time stories. We got Stan Van Gundy's relationship with Brandon Ingram was strained for a majority of the season, somebody said. Okay, I don't know what that says. We got the Charlotte Hornets are expected to show interest in Daniel Tice. I think we capped down the news, man. Paul Pierce announcing he's launching Truth marijuana brand. Oh yeah, we have capped down the news, guys. That is the news for the day. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.